Hi guys, this is my concluding session on transducers. Transducers are one which keeps our biological system run healthily. Alright, that's what already we have seen in my earlier videos. We are quite aware that varieties of stimuli received by our body, whether it be of light, whether it be of sound, whether it be of odor, or be it of touch, not only these, even the emotional aspects of our life, all these stimuli received are coded in electrical impulses. Alright, and these electrical impulses are then taken to big boss, that's our brain, where they are being decoded and the further actions taken. It also plays crucial role by supporting the support of our biological system. How? By converting electromagnetic waves into electrical impulses and vice versa. For what? For radio, TV, and varieties of other electrical gadgets, and most importantly, oxygen of our current generation, that is mobile. So the transducers are very essential for our internal processes. At the same time, it is also very much essential for our external source. Like I am recording it in this mobile. So they are also transducers. The light which it is getting, the electromagnetic waves and all those things that the mobile is receiving, the recorder of mobile is receiving, is being converted and recorded by transducer. So all this support system required for our biological system is also with the grace of transducers. Transducers are very significant, yet we converse less about it. Hardly we find chapters on transducers. Why? Transducers are our life. We need to explore a lot on transducers. Alright. So let me start fantasizing about transducers. In case of transducers, what have we got to do first? First and primary aspect that we have got to check out if we are going to explore transducers is to find out the voltage generated by various stimuli that body receives. Alright. So once if we get an instrument or if we get a gadget with support of which we can find out, or rather by support of which we can explore all the voltages generated in our body for varieties of stimuli that body receives. Obviously, the job is not meager. Why? Because see, as I presented in my earlier videos, these values which are there, they're very low. These values could go in terms of say nano or pico or femto or atto, or maybe much lower than that. Now why? This is all because we know that the voltage that our body can sustain is 70 millivolts. And there are so many transducers activity, millions of transducers activities going on in our biological system. So summation of all these voltage has not to exceed 70 millivolts. So the job is really uphill, but not impossible. Why? Because when we go back to 1950s, scientists of 1950s mimicked gadgets for cochlea and for heartbeat. And obviously, those were cochlear implants and pacemakers. Theory is the same. Theory is all about transducers. So there it was all studied well and incorporated and applied and successfully applied. So cochlear implant, I would not say it's perfectly all right, or I would not say that the pacemaker is perennial, but still it is. So we need to work in this direction. So difficult task, but not impossible. So we have got to work out over these directions. As I had earlier mentioned in drugs, I had mentioned that it is very much essential for us to work towards synthesizing single optical isomers. Similarly here also transducers are the one where our scientists have got to work over it and explore varieties of transducers for varieties of functions, varieties of applications which support our biological system. So there has been many, but still lots of scope does exist. Just imagine some of my kids breaks through into a gadget. Now this gadget is able to do two things. Firstly, it's able to measure the electrical impulse generated by varieties of impulses or impacts, whether it be of sound, odor, taste, touch, or emotion. That's first thing. And second thing, it also generates the electrical impulse mimicking transducer. A great achievement because it does two very significant things. First is it measures the electrical impulses, or it measures the electrical signal, it measures the electrical volts generated by varieties of impulses, and it also generates that electrical volt. So it mimics transducer. Now just imagine what this can do. So these guys gift me a gadget with 3 switches. Now, suppose if we put too much of studies into transducers, then it is with the help of these electron volts, if we apply it to proper part of our nose, on this upper part over here, we are aware that citric acid smell is for energizing and uplifting. Lavender smell is for calming and soothing, and jasmine smell is for relaxing. So what did they do? What did these guys do? They just found out the volts required when our nose, when all these respective odors touch our nostril at relevant place, the transducers generates varieties of electron volts. Now they just measured those electron volts using the gadget, and when I feel low, at that time I just put in those electrodes there and keep on pressing those knobs, those switches which they asked me to. And what are those switches doing? They are generating those electrical impulses generated by those 3 fragrances that I mentioned. Now those 3 fragrances we know would be involving hippocampus, amygdala of our limbic system, and give us the relevant response of calming, energizing, and relaxing, and all those effects would be done. So in short, what do I mean by extending the study of transducer? I just mean that once we explore these transducers well, then as we have been able to take out cochlear problem, heart problem, if I'm depressed, what do? I take antidepressant. Now when I take antidepressant, it goes into my biological system and creates lots of ruckus, because the metabolites which are there, they are going to create some problem whether we are aware of it or not, depending on varieties of biological system. So we are getting rid of it. Alright, now when you want to smell good, you just put in there and put in the relevant volt, and then you are smelling. Now if I burn an incense stick, we know there are lots of unburned carbon which is there, which goes into our lungs and blocks our alveoli. So these are the things. So all those side effects which are there, we are getting rid of it once we get into transducers. Now same thing can happen with emotional aspects also. If we know varieties of emotional voltages, then in that case applying that voltage to our limbic proper location, proper site of limbic system, we can start enjoy, we can feel all those emotions, we can get back all those emotions. All right. This is something which I spoke was about the practical aspects like smell or feeling emotionally depressed and all. With these acumen and transducers, missing would be missing from our life. To be honest, life is challenging owing to the attitude of wanting not to miss. So these were just my views. about transducers. The exploration on transducers are really going to help us a lot, as it has helped us earlier also. So these are all my views on transducers. Now let's see what I have for my next video.